Fun and fidgety doesn't even begin to explain this one. What's good? Bevan here with Tried and True EDC. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Core Edge USA 0331. This is a double action out the front automatic. Before we jump in, let's talk about the packaging. Very thinly constructed box with thin cardboard. And there's some information there. Inside, the knife came in this baggie and was placed in this foam insert. Just keep it nice and safe. There's a little designs on the box. Core Edge USA, made in the USA. And some information. Looks like this might have been showcased during Blade Show 2025. Let's talk about that blade. This has a two-tone finish, so it's got satin flats, and on the primary bevel is a blasted finish. The blasted finish is very similar to a Chris Reeve sandblast finish. So just kind of take a look. The sandblast might be slightly darker, but even the texturing and the feel of it feels very similar. It is a drop point blade in Magnacut steel. I opted for the drop point. I wanted something more utilitarian. I have a few daggers, and they also offer the dagger blade style as well as a tanto. Let's see if it's sharp. Okay, let's start with the magazine paper. Oh, okay, here we go. Not that sharp. There's a zip tie. Oh, that took a lot of force. Rope. Oh, this is not very sharp out of the factory. Yeah, it's kind of just tearing it away. Let's talk about the handle. This is an aluminum chassis with what they call Echo Honeycomb milled pattern. You can see right there. And they've done some other micro milling along the edges as well. This nicely contoured, does feel good in hand. And we'll get to the pocket clip more later, but just from the onset, I thought the pocket clip would be reversible. However, it is not. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Got the same milling pattern on both sides. This is OD green for the color. Very well done. You can see the Core Edge USA logo right there. Kind of blends into the honeycomb pattern. You'll notice there's no hardware, which is really nice. The fit and finish on this is impeccable, perfectly smooth, well chamfered all around. Look at some size comparisons. We got a big boy on top. This is a Desert Knife Works Sand Shark. Got the Microtech Scarab 2 on the bottom. This is the Combat Troodon Microtech on the bottom. And lastly, the Deadlock from G&G Hawk. Much more comparable in size with the Deadlock. The size of the 0331 reminds me of an Ultratech, a little bit more beefy around the handle. Let's talk about the closing and opening action. I don't know if you can hear that clearly, but the acoustics on the deployment when the knife flies open is very unique. Unlike any other OTF I've ever handled. Very loud, almost like a crack, a very loud crack. Even the retracting acoustics sounds very, very nice. Yeah, you won't be able to deploy this in any covert situation because that is loud AF. Very smooth. They've got the stepped pattern on the actuator. So easy. A lot of traction in both opening and closing it. Oh, I could do this forever. Very nice. Very smooth. There's a bit of blade play. That's expected on most double action out the fronts I've handled. Deadlock is an exception. I think Microtech also has a model now that's supposed to eliminate blade play. But that's okay. This is less than some of the Microtechs I've handled. Let's talk about the pocket clip. It's got a deep carry pocket clip style. And as I was talking about how I thought it was reversible, it is recessed, as you can see, and that only goes one way. So you wouldn't be able to reverse it because it wouldn't sit properly if you did so. There's some markings on the pocket clip right here. It's probably hard to see. Little specks of black something. Let's take a shot of this in the pocket. All right, so it's got some stiffness to it. Very secure. Plenty of real estate left, so you can get your hands in there if you need it. Just kind of a close-up look. That's about how much knife is taking up the pocket. Let's talk about ergonomics. Very comfortable in hand. I did mention that earlier. Your hammer grip, your saber grip, reverse grip, all very comfortable. The pocket clip does not present any hot spots whatsoever in my hands. Possibly a slight hint of pressure right there in the hammer grip. Barely noticeable. Incredibly comfortable. Very pleased with that. Let's talk about cost and availability. I picked this one up from River's Edge Cutlery for $325. I've noticed they do kind of sell out pretty quickly. My impression of Core Edge USA is that they are a newer company. I have not seen any knives from them or any products from them until now. They do have different milling patterns, again, different blade shapes, and they all hover around the $325 range. They have some other models, variations of this still available. You can probably find it on other popular online retailers as well. And yeah, so they are available. What are my final thoughts? I really like it. I think right off the bat, it's got very pleasing aesthetics. It's very comfortable in hand, as I've mentioned. Action and the acoustics on this thing are phenomenal. Second to none. I'm bold enough to make that statement. I do like the deep carry pocket clip, how it's integrated and recessed into the end of the handle. Not a fan of this particular screw because that looks very proprietary. One thing I did notice, the tip of the blade is right there. So if you run your fingers along this, you will feel the point of that blade. Now I can understand they try to fit as much of the blade into the handle just from specifications to be as exact as possible. That is why that is there. But that's something to note. When you run it through with enough force, I can imagine yourself getting poked. Luckily this is tipped down, so shouldn't have any issues, but I definitely want to call that out. Again, the fit and finish is impeccable on this thing. Very nice dark OD green finish on this. It has a bit of sheen to it as it hits the lighting at different angles, which is kind of cool. Did a great job with the actuator or the slide. I keep calling it an actuator, but I think it's more commonly known as a slide. Very well done. Just kudos to Core Edge USA. This is an exceptional knife. Very pleased with it. I am not excited about the edge being as dull as it is. Perhaps it's just at a larger angle that won't, didn't slice the paper at the right angle. So maybe that was the reason, but that's okay. I'll just go ahead and sharpen this up myself. If you're in the market looking for an out the front double action, plenty of competition out there, but I really like this one, and I think this is a great option. $325 does compete with Microtech's price points, especially I think the Ultratech's around that price, depending on the variation. I know Heretic makes some nice out the fronts as well. Guardian Tactical. So there's a lot of competition out there, but I think Core Edge USA did an amazing job making another competitive option for consumers. I'm enjoying it so far. Again, I do plan on sharpening it, hopefully before I start putting it to use. Let me know if you have any thoughts on this, whether you picked one up as well or you've been eyeing it yourself. Please drop any questions or comments you may have. Truly appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a great day. Stay frosty.